Hello everyone, my name is Amit Khan. In this video we will discuss about permanent magnet moving coil meter of electronics measurement. First comes PMMC, that means permanent magnet moving coil. It is a simple machine which create stationary magnetic fields with two powerful permanent magnet. This is then used with the moving coil connected to the electric source to produce deflection torque. According to the popular theory of Fleming's left-hand rule. Now, apart from PMMC and permanent magnet moving coil, they are also known as D-galvanometers, that is a type of galvanometer based on D'Arsonval's principle. In the diagram we can see the construction of PMMC instrument. It is consist of a spring, a top jewel bearing, pointer, scale, balancing weight, aluminium former and a moving coil. A PMMC equipment consists of two main parts. They are moving coil and a permanent magnet along with other parts. These parts are explained. The first part is the magnet system. The instrument consists of two high intensity, high corrosive force magnets or a big U-shaped magnet based on design. These magnets are made up of Alcomax and Alnico for higher corrosive force and better field intensity. In many designs, an additional soft iron cylinder is placed in between the magnetic poles to make the field uniform while reducing air reluctance to increasing field strength. The next part is the moving coil. It is one of the main component of PMMC equipment and it is made up of copper coils wounded to a rectangular block in between the magnetic poles. It is made up of aluminium. The rectangular block is called aluminium former pivoted to the jeweled bearing. It is what that allows the coil to rotate freely. Now when the current is passed through these coils, it receives a deflection in the field which is then used to determine the magnitude of the voltage or current. The non-metallic former like that of aluminium are used for current measurement, while metallic former with high electromagnetic damping are used to measure voltage. The next part is control. Two spring made of phosphorus bronze acts as a control system for the PMMC. These springs are mounted on the jewel bearing of PMMC, providing the essential controlling torque. The controlling torque produced is mainly due to ribbon suspension. They oppose the force of deflection so as the electromagnetic force of the moving coil came in equilibrium with the spring tension. This helps in keeping the pointer at a fixed position after the initial deflection. These control springs also serves the purpose of providing lead current path in and out of the system. The next part is the damping system. The damping torque is produced in PMMC equipment by the movement of aluminium core in the magnetic field. It keeps the pointer at rest after the initial deflection. Now this helps in proper measurement without fluctuations. Due to the movement of coil in the magnetic field, An eddy current is produced in the aluminum former. This produces the damping force or torque which opposes further motion of the coil. So slowly the pointer deflection reduces and finally stops at a fixed position. The next part is the scale and pointer. The pointer connected to the moving coil moves over a marked scale. The pointer moves along with the coil deflection to show readings marked on the scale. Pointer is a simple construction with lightweight design and twisted section to reduce parallax error. A parallax error can be further reduced by proper alignment of pointer blades to the initial scale. Now next is the working principle of a PMMC instrument. We all know the left hand rule of Fleming's. It states that when a current carrying conductor is placed in a magnetic field, it experiences a force perpendicular to the field and the current. This force tends to move the conductor. According to this rule, if your left hand thumb, forefinger and middle finger are at 90 degrees to each other, then the magnetic field would be along to the forefinger, current across the middle finger, while the force along the thumb. So when current flows in the coil on the aluminum former, a magnetic field is produced in the coil in proportional to the current flow. This electromagnetic force along with static magnetic field from the permanent magnet produces the deflection force in the coil. This spring then produces the controlling force to oppose the further deflection, thus helps in balancing the pointer. Then the damping force is produced in the system by movement of aluminum core in the magnetic field. It keeps the pointer fixed to a position after it reaches equilibrium with the controlling and deflecting torque, providing better precision in measurement. Now this is the torque equation of PMMC. The equation for deflection torque in PMMC is Tf equals to NBLDI, that is equals to G into I, where G is a constant and N is the number of turns in coil, L is the coil length, B is the flux density, D is the breadth of the coil. So the following equation can be written as T equals to NBIA, where A is the effective area, that is equals to length into coil length into breadth of the coil. Since controlling torque produced by the springs mounted on a jewel bearing is proportional to the deflecting angle, so Ts equals to K into theta, where K is the spring constant and theta is the angular moment of the coil. Now since the controlling and deflecting torque should be in equilibrium, so we have Tf equals to Ts, so Gi equals to K into theta. So theta is proportional to I, that means the deflection theta of PMMC equipment is proportional to the current flow I. So theta is proportional to I, that means deflection is of PMMC equipment is proportional to the current flow I. Now what is the applications of PMMC? PMMC are one of the best instruments to measure direct current. They are accurate, sensitive and works for longer period of time without defect or any type of maintenance. These instruments on board are used to measure direct current and voltage. They can also be used as galvanometer to detect small current or change in magnetic flux. They are used on board to assist in regular maintenance of electrical equipment or when precise measurements are required. So the question comes, why PMMC is not used for AC? Why it is always used for DC? That means direct current. Now PMMC is not used for alternating current. That means PMMC is not used for AC. The reason is, one of the most common and obvious question out of curiosity, it's not strange that we ask why it is not used for AC and what will happen if we connect it to AC. Actually, in permanent magnet moving coil instrument, the deflection torque is directly proportional to the current. That means the torque will reverse every 180 degree of alternating current. It happens due to the switch in magnetic polarity of electromagnet. A PMMC equipment have two permanent magnet or a large U-shaped magnet with an electromagnet in the form of moving coil. There is a switch in magnetic polarity for this electromagnet every half cycle if you connect it to alternating current. Due to this equal and opposite deflection every 180 degree of alternating current, we will get a net torque of 0. This is why we don't use PMMC instrument for alternating current. Next comes, what are the possible causes of error in PMMC equipment? The causes of error in PMMC instrument are error due to magnetism, error due to temperature difference, error due to spring. What are the advantages of using PMMC instrument? The advantages are high weight to torque ratio. It has pointer deflection proportional to the current. There is no hysteresis loss. There is no unaffected PMMC instrument is unaffected by stray magnetic field. There is a type of purpose equipment. It can be used as ammeter, voltmeter and galvanometer. And the disadvantages of PMMC equipment are, it only works for DC, direct current. It is costly than its other alternatives. Now here we can see the PMMC as a DC ammeter. We can see the diagram of a PMMC as DC ammeter. In this figure, the resistance of the shunt is found by applying the Ohm's law, where RSH is the resistance of the shunt, Rm is the internal resistance of the moving coil, ISH is the current through the shunt, Im is the full scale deflection of the moving coil, I is the full scale deflection current of the ammeter, Vm is the voltage drop across Rm, VSH is voltage drop across RSH. The voltage drop across the meter movement Vm equals to Im into Rm. As the shunt resistor is parallel with the moving coil, Vm equals to VSH. The current through the shunt ISH equals to I minus Im. So the value of shunt is RSH equals to VSH divided by ISH. RS is the load resistance. This is used for modification to increase the range of current that can be measured by the basic meter. Now here is the PMMC as DC voltmeter. The basic d'Arsovale meter or PMMC meter can be converted to a DC voltmeter by connecting a multiplier RS in series with it. The purpose of the multiplier is to extend the range of the meter and to limit the current through the d'Arsovale meter to the maximum full scale deflection current. To find the value of multiplier resistor, we may first determine the sensitivity S of the d'Arsovale meter. Now sensitivity is equals to 1 by I into Fs, where IFS is a full scale deflection current of d'Arsovale meter. The value of the multiplier resistance can be found using this relationship: Rs plus Rm equals to S into V into range. So Rs equals to S into V range minus Rm. Next is PMMC as DC ohm meter. The basic ohm meter circuit employing d'Arsovale meter is shown in the figure. The zero calibration is performed by shorting the terminal XY and adjusting RZ so that the full scale deflection on the meter movement is obtained. Without Rx, the current equation for full scale deflection becomes IFS equals to E divided by RZ plus Rm. With Rx, the current equation will become IFS equals to E divided by Rx plus RZ plus Rm. So by introducing Rx, the current I will always less than the full scale current. So I is less than IFS. So the relationship between the full scale deflection with the value of Rx is equals to I by IFS, that is equals to RZ plus Rm divided by Rx plus RZ plus Rm. Practically, this equation is being used to develop the marking scale on the meter face to indicate the value of the measured resistor. Now this is the DC ammeter loading effect. All ammeters contain some external resistance which may range from a low to a greater value. Inserting ammeter in a circuit always increases the resistance of the circuit and therefore reduces the current in the circuit. So without ammeter, the current flows in the circuit shown in the figure can be calculated as IE equals to E divided by R1. Inserting the ammeter in the figure, XY terminal will reduce the current in the circuit to IM equals to E divided by R1 plus Rm. So if we find Im divided by IE, that will be R1 divided by R1 plus Rm. So the insertion error will be IE minus Im divided by IE into 100%. We are given the figure with loading effect and without loading effect. That means when we insert Rm, that is with loading effect, and without Rm, that is without loading effect. Now this is DC voltmeter loading effect. Without, we can see in the diagram that without the insertion of DC voltmeter, the voltage VRB can be found as VRB equals to RB divided by RA plus RB into E. And when inserting the voltmeter in parallel with RB, then RT will becomes RS plus RM. So the insertion error will be VRB minus VRB M with voltmeter divided by VRB into 100%. Next is the multi-range ohm meter. The ohm meter range discussed in the previous section is not capable of measuring resistance over a wide range of values. So, we need to extend our discussion of ohm meters to include multiple range ohm meters. The figure shows one way of circuit configuration for developing multi-range ohm meter, where from the diagram we can see that where R1 equals to 10 ohm, RZ is 28 kilo ohm, R2 equals to 100 ohm, IFS equals to 50 microampere, R3 equals to 1 kilo ohm, E equals to 1.5 volt, and Rm equals to 2 kilo ohm. This instrument makes use of a basic 50 microampere meter movement with an internal resistance of 2 kilo ohm. An additional resistance of 28 kilo ohm is provided by RZ. This RZ is necessary to limit current through the meter movement to 50 microampere when the test probes, and those are not shown in the figure, connected to X and Y are shorted. When the instrument is on the R1 range, a 10 ohm resistor is in parallel with the meter movement. So the internal resistance of the ohm meter on the R1 range is 10 ohm parallel 30 kilo ohm, which approximately is 10 ohm. So that means the pointer will deflect to mid scale when a 10 ohm resistor is connected across X and Y. Then when the instrument is set in the R into 10 range, the total resistance will be approximately 100 ohm. So the pointer deflects to the mid scale when 100 ohm resistor is connected between the test probes. So when our ohm meter is set on R into 100 range, the total resistance of the instrument will approximately be 1 kilo ohm. Therefore, the pointer deflects to mid scale when we connect the test probes across to 1 kilo ohm resistor. This provides us value for the mid scale reading of 10 multiplied by 100 or 1 kilo ohm for our resistor. PMMC multimeter is a combination of appropriate shunts for direct current ranges, multipliers for direct voltage ranges, rectifiers for alternating currents, ohm meter, etc., and voltages, etc. Now here are some problems related to PMMC instrument. The first one is to calculate the value of multiplier resistance on the 50 volt range of a DC voltmeter that used a 50 microampere DR meter with an internal resistance of 1 kilo ohm. Here we have done S equals to I by IFS, that is 1 divided by 50 microampere, that is equals to 2 kilovolt by divided by V, 2 kilo ohm divided by V. RS equals to S into range minus RM, that is equals to 99 kilo ohm. The second problem is to calculate the value of the meter with a 100 ohm of shunt resistance required to convert a 1 milliampere moving coil meter with a 100 ohm internal resistance into a 0 to 10 milliampere ammeter. Now we have to find Vm equals to Im into Rm, that is 0.1 volt, VSH equals to 0.1 volt, ISH equals to I minus Im, that is 9 milliampere. So using the relation RSH equals to VSH into ISH, VSH divided by ISH, that becomes RSH equals to 11.11 ohm. Then we know the number of turns N equals to I by Im, that is 10, and RSH becomes 11.11 ohm. The next problem is to a 100 microampere meter movement with an internal resistance of 800 ohm is used in a 0 to 100 milliampere ammeter. Find the value of the required shunt resistance. The multiplication factor N is the ratio of 100 milliampere to 100 microampere, so N becomes 1000. So RSH equals to Rm by N minus 1, that is 0.8 ohm. The next problem is determine the insertion or loading error due to using ammeter in the figure 2.5. if E equals to 100 volt, R1 equals to 100 ohm, and Rm equals to 100 ohm. The figure is given in the previous slide, where we have used in which slide? In the slide where we have seen the loading effect of an ammeter. In that slide, the figure is given. So the solution is given here, where IE equals to E divided by R1, that is 100 volt by 100 ohm, that is 1 ampere. 1M equals to Im equals to E divided by R1 plus Rm, that is 0.5 ampere, and so the insertion error is 50%. Here we have done the sum from the figure. The figure is given in the slide, where we have discussed the loading effect error of an ammeter. Thank you all for watching this video.